Hello family, I proudly welcome you to part 2 of how to create student management system application in Microsoft Access. My name is Akosmaila. So I'm a database developer and I make helpful videos teaching you Microsoft Access and how to become the best developer that you wish to be in Microsoft Access. If you have not subscribed to my channel, kindly hit the subscribe button, turn on the little bell notification icon please, so that each time that I'm a helpful video like this, you will be notified so that you don't miss any of them. Together we all move. And then also this will help the YouTube algorithm to suggest my videos to a lot of people to benefit just as you are also benefiting. Okay, so if you have not watched the first video about how to create student management system in Microsoft Access, kindly check down the Microsoft Access DB playlist and then you'll find that particular video. Okay, so now in this part 2, I'm going to teach you or walk you through how to add the school fees management system to do the billing and crediting of fees of your students. Okay, so this video we are going to learn how to incorporate or create a school fees management model in your school student management software or database. Okay, so guys, now that we are going to create a school fees model, we start by first creating a billing session, and the billing is going to be done by classes. Okay, so we go to create. I've already clicked on the create tab, so create. Now go to table design. Okay, so here I'll say billing, so I'll say billing ID. Now we choose to make it auto number. Okay, now because you'll be doing a lot of billings, it is advisable that you set the billing ID, which is the primary key, to auto number, so that Microsoft Access will take care of the increment for you. Okay, so now here we say billing dates. So we say billing date. Now this will be date or time. So you can click here and then select date or time if you are not, let's say if you are not that familiar with Microsoft Access, so sorry for that. But now we will click here and select the data type. Okay, so now that we have the billing date, so we can also track the billing time. So the billing time over here to we still stick to date or time. Okay, now we say billing type. Okay, so now billing type, I'm going to make it a lookup wizard. You can create a table and then populate these values, but then I'm sticking to just a simple lookup. So I will assume that in my school, so let us repeat it all over. You click here, lookup wizard. Now you select the second option. I'll type in the values that I want. Okay, so I will assume that in my school there are 3 types of bills. So we have the tuition or school fees. So tuition or school fees. Then also let's say we have exam fee. So let's say we have also, now you shouldn't worry because you can edit the values in the list at any point in time. So now let's say we also have one more. So let's say we have P.T.A fee. Okay, so we have PTA, Parent Teachers Association here. Now we limit to list. Please do not select the second option. So we click finish. Okay, now class. So which class? Like I said, we're doing a billing by class, so we say class. Okay, so now class in here, the data type supposed to be number because of the relationship, so we click lookup. Now although it is number, we are going to select the classes in the lookup. So we go to combo box. So here you go to lookup, you click here, you select combo box. Okay, so now the first thing is rule source. We click the builder icon. Okay, so we add the classes table. Now class title. Okay, so before then let's add the class ID. So the class ID needs to come here, then we have the class title also here. Okay, so now we save it, Ctrl S to save. Now we close. Alright, so now having done this, column count is select 2 because we have 2 columns, class ID then class title. Okay, so now you can way down to column width. So column width, now you select 0 and 1, because we don't want to show the class ID, so we make it 0 then 1. Okay, so this is how we type it: 0, 1. Then you hit the tab key. Microsoft Access takes care of it for you here. So now we are done. We have billing ID, billing date, billing time, billing type. So we have the class also here. Okay, so now having done this, we right click, we save. So we say, so let's give it a name. So let's say billing table. Okay, all right, so now billing table, we click here to view. Okay, so let's just do some billing for classes. So amount, and this amount has to be number. You can choose currency. Now if you select number, let's come to the field properties, the field size. So now you can see default is long integer. We don't want that, we want double, so that we'll be able to enter some couple of decimals. And now we stick to standard as the format. Okay, so guys, now the table attribute is complete, so we can go back data sheet view. Okay, so let's start the billing again. Today, now billing type, so the class, let's say class 1, we are billing them 2000. So let's build another class. So let's say today we are billing exam fee. So class 1 again, they are paying 300. Okay, so now let's build another class. So let's say this time around PTA for class 1 again. So class 1 all in this month. So there you could choose to add a lot of other attributes to this particular fees table. You can add the term, you can add the months, and a whole lot, but then I'm just making simple as possible. So we go to today, different class tuition. So let's say class 2 has to pay 1,300. Now let's go to, so it means let's make this 1,200. So the amount doesn't matter though. So tuition fee, let's go to exam fee for class 2. Okay, so let's say 300 again. So let me build another class. So let's say today, so you do the billing. If it is in a month or a term, you do it for all the classes. So let's say JHS1, they have to pay 5,000. Okay, so let me add JHS1 again. So tuition, sorry, exam fee, JHS1. So let's assume they have to pay exam fee of 400. Okay, so now having done this, we refresh. All right, now we move on to the second phase. So before we move on to the second phase, let us do what to add the term. So go back to design view. Now add a term. So say term. Now term is also going to be a lookup. So we go to lookup wizard. We type in the values that we want. So let's say term 1, 22. So let's say term 2, 22. So let's say term 3, 22. Okay, so you can edit the values in the list at any point in time. So now let's see. Okay, so we assume this one is all these billings are term 1. So copy. So you paste, you move down, you paste, you move down, you paste, you paste. Okay, so now we have a near complete billing table, guys. Okay, now the second step, you close the table, you go to create. Now query design. So query design, you add a billing table. So what you're going to do is you're going to create a query to a group by query to group all the bills for classes. So now this is what we are going to do. We will need only the class. Okay, so we need only the class here. Now also we are going to need So we are going to also need the amount. So we are going to need the amount. So now once you run this query, it shows you everything, but then we are going to sum. So now you come back to the show or hide, you click totals. Okay, so you are grouping by classes, but then now you are choosing to sum everything. Okay, so you are choosing to sum everything. You could do a 2-level group by, but then for this project that we are about, we just need a 1-level group by. Okay, so we save it here, Control S. Now we say bill query. Okay, so guys, now once you run this query, you can see, so class 1, the total amount of fees so far is 1,900, class 2 1,600, GHS 1 5,400. So if you do any billing, it will come and add up over here idly for you. Okay, so now having done that, you choose to close this query. Now the next thing is that you are going, so now we have billing query and a billing table, so we are going to do crediting tables as well. So you go to create table design. Okay, so now you say transaction ID auto number, so this is the primary key. Okay, now it says students, so student ID, because in the student ID we have, so this is the ID we are going to link with these two tables. So we say the student ID will be a number because they have to be on the same data type before we can link them. So student ID number. Okay, so now you're crediting, so over here to, you say payment. So over here too, we say payment date, so date or time. Okay, so this is payment date. Now let's say payment type. So here payment type, you go to lookup wizard, so I will type in the values that I want. Okay, so here too, is it school fees or tuition, exam fee, or P.C.A. Okay, so limit to list. Okay, now what is the amount? Amount paid. So amount paid here to number, but then the field size, we are going to stick to double as usual. Then the formats, we need standard. Okay, so now we have student ID, payment date, payment type, amount paid. So amount paid. Now you can also choose payment mode. This one will be a lookup as well, so select here, click lookup wizard. Okay, so let's say by cash, mobile money, bank. Okay, now we go to next, we limit to list. Okay, so now we are going to save this table. Right click, Control S, or you could equally hit Control S. So you say so now this is transaction, or let's say payments table. Okay, now we are done, guys. Let's run. All right, now we are going to find an easier way of entering values into this table. So what we are going to do is we are going to create this as a sub form and add to the student info here. So now we right click here, we copy, now we paste, Control V to paste. So copy of student info. Now let me clean and type a new name. So let's say payments profile. Okay, so payment profile. Now I believe if you have not got this far, please check down the link. The link to the file is in the first video. You download, then you continue from this video. Okay, so payment profile, guys, let's go. You go to the design view. Okay, so there are some few information we will need. So I will clean here. Okay, I will clean this also. Good. So now what we are going to do is the class of the student, we will need it, so I'll click here, then the class or the stage. Okay, so let me pull down here. In fact, we already have this on the first form, so we don't need it here now. So okay, so now class, we add it up here. Okay, so size, we select widest. Now right click, alignment, you select left. Right click again, size, you select widest. Okay, now I'll click here. Let me copy and paste. So we copy, then we paste. Okay, so let's do the alignment here too. Alignment left. Okay guys, so now having done this, the next thing you need to do is to locate the payment table. You click and drag it here. Okay, so now we are going to build a query. So define my own. Okay, so now we have to link these two forms. So what attributes are we using to do the linking? Okay, so here we use the ID. Now when you come to the second form, we are going to use student ID. So let's see, they are all of the same data type. So student ID here, then the student number here. So next. Now I could have done it automatically, but the reason being that this one has no, the payment table has no records. If you had records, it would have done this linking for you automatically. So now we go to next. So what name do we want to give? Say transaction or payments. Payments. Okay. So now let's wait a couple of time for Microsoft Access to complete the process. Okay, good. So guys, now we are done. We have a data sheet here. So now let's say payment data sheet. Okay. So now the next thing that we'll do is to stretch this a bit. Okay. So let's select everything, we stretch it across. Okay, so let's make this one big a bit. So 14 is okay. We stretch it up here. We are not going to be concerned much about the designing. I'm just showing the flow. So let's right click here, special effect, we choose sync. Now double click here and I'll click again. Now let me show you something. If you open this, so you could see now you cannot enlarge this form. So let us show the maximize button. So we go to design view, so minimum or max. So property sheet format, you select both. Okay, so now both. Now that we have both enabled, now let me enlarge. You could see that although you have a lot of spaces here, but that only occupy these few spaces. So let us enlarge it more. So we click here. Now to do that, you set the right anchors, the right 4 anchors. So what do? Horizontal anchors, you click, you select to both. Vertical anchor, you click here, you select to both. Okay. Now once you open the form and you hit the maximize, you can see it has occupied the entire area. So now guys, now you can see we are good to go. Student number and then student number 1. So this is student number 1, as you can see 1 here, or you can add the student's ID. So now let's do the payment. So this student is paying an amount. So now you do the payment in the data sheet, school fees. So what is the amount the student is paying? So let's say he's paying 600. Payment mode, cash. Okay, so we are done. If he's paying another amount, you click here. So what's payment again? Let's say exam fee, what's amount? So let's say 400. Okay, now it's paying by cash. Good. So you can see once you are done, you can move to the next student. So next students. Okay, so we are unable to move to the next student. By clicking next, it only navigates over here. It means that we have to show the navigation button for the main form also. So let's go to design view. Now navigation buttons, you set it to yes. So before then, we can even add a search bar also here. So we click here. we come in here to the form design controls. So combo box. Okay, so combo box. Now you select the last option, find the record of my form. You move to next. So you want the full name in the combo box. Okay, so this is how your list will appear. Good. So now the name will say search. We click finish now. Okay, so let me click here, format. We'll copy the format painter, paste here. Okay, so now once we move up here, like I said, we'll not be focusing much on our designs, but then the flows. So now guys, you can see you can set the student here. So now once you set the student, you are ready to do the payment. But the payment dates, payment mode, let us set some default value so that everything will be easy. And then also this should stretch or move to the right hand side. So we'll go to design view first. Let me double click here to show the property sheet. I will select everything, then the right anchor, horizontal anchor is set it to right. Okay, now we can pull it here. So we can pull it a bit here. Okay, so let me copy this, paste here. Good. So now the payment date, payment date in the data sheet, you click it, and now you move way down here to data default value, you type in date. Okay, so date, this date we've already covered in some videos. There's a function in Microsoft Access which outputs the system date. So now payment mode, default value. So default value, where is default value? So default value is set to cash. Now we save. Okay, now we can set a different color to differentiate this from any other ordinary form. So let's stick to green. No, these are not nice, so let's stick to this. By that, then it means we have to change the colors here as well. So stick to black. Okay, so guys, now we enlarge and you can see our gigantic form here. So now we can even search the name of the student here. So let's say AR. So we don't have any students here with that name. So Desmond, so let's say you want to set Desmond, just type Desmond and it comes. Or you can easily click here and select a student, Charles. So now you can see payment date comes, payment type. So let's say exam fee. So amount paid, let's say is 500 or 1000. So 1000 cash. Now it is saved already. So let's say he's paying another amount, exam fee. He's paying 300. It is saved. So if you are done, you move on to the next student. So let's say Desmond is also in class 3. He's going to pay tuition. So amount paid 1200 cash. Okay, good. So any student who comes, so the whole data sheet will be, you'll be using this data sheet to track your fee incomings. Okay, so now guys, the next thing that we are going to do, or we have to do, is to add a button that will refresh the entire form for us. So we'll go to design view. Now we click the button here. So I want to add a button somewhere, let's say here. Yes, so now this button I will cancel. The name I will say save or reload. Okay, so save or reload. So I'll click here. The shape color, let me choose this. Shape outline, let me choose white. Okay, so now having done this, what you need to do, let me stretch it. It has no code. I'll right click, build events, code builder. So now what you need to do is tcmd.refresh, do cmd.save. Okay, so we are done. So now I will close everything and I'll open the payment profile. I will enlarge it. So let me search a student. So it seems all our students are in class 3, GHS 1. Okay, so now let me change some of them to class 2 and class 1. So students, So students, so this students, let's say class 2, so class 2. Okay, so now once you open profile, you open it, you search your students, so you're ready to go. Payment type, let's say PTA, she's paying only 500. Okay, now we see, so this has been saved. You can see now it refreshes. Now we select a different student array, so let's say payment type, he is in JHS1, school fees, she's paying only 2,000. We refresh. Okay, so now this is about 80% of the school fees management. So now, how do you manage to show balance? Now you know how to do the billing, so how do you manage to show the balance? Okay, so guys, now payment table. So this payment table, let's create a form for it. So we open it, we go to create form wizard, we select everything, next, columnar, next. So now let's modify the form. Okay, so like I said, we are not going to improve the designs much, so the letter I will do is I will select, right click size, I will select widest. Okay, now let's set all the colors to black. All right, click here. Now navigation, we'll keep it, record selectors no. Okay, now let's add some buttons. So let me add a button here, design. Okay, so a button that will do new bill. So record operations, add new. So we choose to add test. Now here we say new bill, finish. Okay, so now let's add one more button to do the saving, two more buttons, sorry. So the next one will be delete bill. So delete. Okay, so we have this one also here. The next one to save. So we click here. So instead of save, I will use refresh from data. Next, so I'll say the title, I'll say save. Okay, because each time Microsoft Access refreshes a form, it saves a record. So drag here. So okay, now let's choose some designs. Okay, all right, shape outline white. Okay guys, so now let us open this form. Okay, so now we have this form also here. Okay, now I'm going to do billing for class 3 before we move on to show the balance. So oh guys, sorry, this is payment table. This is payment table, but then no problem. Let me delete it because we don't need this. We've already captured that in the payment profile. So we needed to create a table for the billing table. So the billing table. Okay, so now with the payment table that we create, I'll rename it to billing form. Okay, so billing form. So now this billing form, let's go to design view, and our first thing, we change the record source to billing table. Okay, so now we clear everything here. So let me type billing by class. Okay, now having done this, I'll add existing fields. So control, and now you have to click all the entities here. We add everything here. So let's add this here. Okay, so now you can push this one downwards a bit. Okay, so I will select everything, right click, size, widest. Okay, so here we do this. Now let me select everything here. Okay, so very sorry for that. We need to take our time and move. Okay, so now we have it. Let's set a caption also. Format, so caption is billing. Okay guys, so now we have, so now this is the billing table. So now let's do a new bill for class 3. So new bill, billing date. So here you can say default date. billing time. So what is it? So tuition class 3, let's say 1,600. And what is the term? So the term, let's say term 1. Now we save the bill. Okay, so we go to the table, you can see it is over here now. And now once you show the billing query to, you can see we have it here. Okay, so let's close all of them. So now guys, before we show the balance, we have payment profile, which we use to do the payments or credits to the students. We have, so this is a sub form that we have in the payment profile form. And now we have the billing form, which will help us to do the billing. So now how do we show the balance, or how do we now combine these two tables to track the amount of money that the student is owing the school? Okay, so to do that is so easy. Now you go to create again, query design. So now first you select the first query that will be built, which is a bill query. Now you choose to bring the, now what you need to do next is to show the payment table here. So we have the payment table also here. Okay, so now we have the payment table also here. All right, now having done this, the next thing that we will need to do, so the next thing we will have to do, let me stretch this. So go to show table. Now guess the table we are going to add. We are going to add the classes table. So we click here, now we add the classes table here. So now for this class table, we build a relationship with this. So we click from here, now we drag it way down here. Okay, so now we've managed to get this class table. And then also you have to bring another third-party table, which is the student table. So we click show table. Now student table. Okay, so having brought this table, what you need to do now, student here, so payment table up to student ID. Okay, so now guys, this is how far that you've come. So now this is the linking we've managed to do. So this is the linking we've managed to do. Okay, and now also we shouldn't forget that there is class here. So there is class in the student table. So student table, we also have class again. So now you can choose to link this class with either this or this. So I am going to link this class with what we have here. Okay, so now this is what we have. We need to take our time and build this query. Other than that, we'll be having a lot of issues. So now that we have this here, so simple. Okay, so guys, now the next thing that you do, so let's test it out here. So now bring the student's ID. Okay, so now once you bring the student's ID, let's fetch this name. So let's try this and see whether this works. Okay, so guys, now this works. So you can see that once you have the student's ID, the student's name comes automatically, and the ID came from the payment table, and I have the student's name also over here. Okay, so having done this, now the next thing is that you go to the payment table. So first, student's ID from payment table. Now you fetch the student's name. You can choose to ignore, but then it has to also come. Okay, so the most important thing is the student's ID here. Now you go to payment table again. So give me the amount paid for all students. Okay, so let's show this. Now you can see we have the amount here. So guess what we are going to do? Now we are going to sum. So say total. Now we are grouping here by sum. Good. So now let's run. We are doing good. So guys, now you can see the total amount that every student has paid. So if you want to see that clearly, click this payment subform. Now go to format. You show the table. So once you show total, sorry, you come to amount paid. Now you click sum from the totals. Yes. So now you close. If you go to the payment form, you'll see the totals for everyone. So let's see. Cynthia Isel is 1,000. Let's go to the next student. 1,200, 500, 1,300. So let's say Charles Donko pays an amount of let's say 140.9. okay, and now so let's say this one was PTA. We refresh. Okay, so now let's see. Once we refresh, his amount now changes. So this will be the new amount. So this will be his new amount. So you just go to payments, Charles Donko, and now as you can see 1,440.90. so that's what we have over here. Now later on I'll show you how to cut down this, but then this is just in the query. On the form it shows right, so but then I'll be showing you how to reduce the decimal places. Okay, so now let us go get the second element so that we can calculate the balance. So now that we have this here, now we can choose to add the sum of amounts for the class, and I'll run. Okay, so this is the total bill for the class outstanding now. So the balance calculation, we are going to sum the bill, going to subtract this from this. So we go to design view. Now let me click right here, build. So let's say balance, outstanding balance. So outstanding balance, we are going to say, so here we are going to say, so the next thing we're going to say bill query. So from the bill query dot sum of amounts, good, minus sum, minus sum of payment table dot amount paid. Okay, so this is the balance. So from the bill query, sum of amounts paid, now minus sum payment table dot amount paid. Okay, so now you shouldn't forget one thing. If you run the query right now, you will encounter an error message. So here in the table, sorry, group by, now you select expression. Okay, so now you can easily run your query. So now you can see sum of amounts paid is 1,000, total bill is for the classes 1,900, and balance is this. So now balance is this. So now we have the balance here, now you have the balance here. So now let's remove the decimal places. Okay, so decimal places. Okay, you click here, formats, sorry, decimal places, so we'll stick to 2. Now decimal places here too, we stick to 2. So amount paid, decimal places, we stick to 2. Okay, so sorry, we have not saved the query so far, so let's right click here, save. Now we say outstanding balances, run. Okay, so now here we are. Okay, so now here we are. Let's close the query and reopen it again. Outstanding balances. Okay, so guys, let's go back, and this is still not rectified. So formats, let's choose standard. So format standard, this is supposed to be fixed, so standard. Okay, so now let's go back to let's run. So this thing is not fixed, so here it's fixed. Now let's go to the amount paid. So amount paid. Okay, so format is standard. Good. And now guys, it has been fixed here. So now you can see the balances here. So now this is what happens each time that you build a class. So now let's say for instance, so let's track the classes, design view. So we can track the class titles here. Okay, so for instance, let's go to class 2. Currently it's 1,600, so let's go and build class 2 again. So billing form is here. Now new bill. So your billing dates, so let's say billing type PTA class 2. Okay, so class 2, let's assume you want to add 500. So what term? Let's say the next term. So we save. Now mind you, class 2, it was 1,600. Now I've added 500. So once we refresh, so congratulations, you can see now it moved on to 2,100. So if you go and credit this student Desmond Afo payments, so Desmond Afo, you click here, Desmond, now he has paid 1,200. So let's say this day he's coming to pay an amount PTA fee. So PTA, let's say he's paying 700. Now let's save and refresh. So he has paid 2,900. So once you refresh here, 1,900, and now his balance is 200. So now if we're able to do things rightly, this will be a super performing model in your database. And now what this does is that each time, so going forward, each time that you add a bill, it does a calculation and updates itself automatically. So at every point it shows you the outstanding balance. If you build a class, it comes to add up. If you also debit the child, it also goes into reduce. Now the next thing is that we are going to show the balance here. So the balance for each child here. Okay, so what do? Now we go to create. So form wizard, what we need is just the balance. So go to next column now. So let me modify this form. Okay, so what I will do is I will just say balance here. Okay, so I will just say balance, and let me make it as small as possible. I click here. Now I will delete this. So let me reduce the size here a bit. Okay, so let me enlarge it. Okay, so now I click right here. I bring this closer. Okay, so this is too huge, so let's bring this here. Okay, so let me enlarge this also a bit. So 18 is okay. Now what I will do next is right click and go to conditional formatting, new rule. So if the float value is greater than 0, if it is greater than 0, it means the child is owing. So let's show a red message. A red message. Now we set it to this. You can bold it. New rule. If the field value, if it is equal to 0, then you are not owing. So we issue a green message. Now inside I'll make it white as usual. So bold. Okay, apply. So let's change this here to black. Okay, so right click. Although I'm not focused much on design, but then there are some basic things I need to do. Okay, so now that we have this here, let's click here. You show, so this will be white. Now let's click in here and also set this to this. And okay guys, so now we've managed to come by this. So the next thing is I click here, no navigation, no record selector. So you see, now finally you go to payment profile, design view, you are going to add it here. So this is what we do. You open a space here, outstanding balance, just click and add it up to wherever I want it to be. So I just want to have it here. Okay, so I'll delete this. I'll delete this. Now because I'm not focused much on my design, so I'll just position it wherever that I want it to be. Okay, so now let me go and open it and see. So this child is owing 900. So let's select a different child. Okay, so now you can see that this is not changed. It means I have not done the linking. So let me go to layout view to set some things properly. So now for this, so conditional, let me set it to left or center. Okay, then also okay. Okay, so now let's do the linking. So go to design view, you make sure it is highlighted like this, data, link master field and link child field. So you open. Now are you using the student name? No, 2 or more students will have the same name but then different fee tracking history. So use the student's ID. So select the ID. So first select the ID here. So student's ID, student's ID. So here, and now once you come in here, So first child, Cynthia, is owing 900. So let's go to the next child. So Desmond is owing 200. So Lydian is owing, so let's 1,600. Now let's credit Lydian again and see. So let's say she pays 8. Guys, sorry, I'm not able to type 8 because of the recorder that I'm using. So let me type 700 instead. Okay, so 700. Now as soon as I save and refresh, you can see that it reduces. So if she comes to pay tuition at any point in time, let's say she paid 200, once you refresh, it reduces. So if you go and build a class, now the balance will go up again. Now the balance will also go up again. I believe you have really loved this particular video. So we'll be ending the tutorial here. If you have a comment, just put it in the comment section. Also, find in the description or even check on this video for my contact detail. If you want to buy anything for me, just contact me. If you also need any help, feel free to also contact me. So now we have the outstanding balances here. So now you can create a report, because this report will gives you the balances of every student. You can even choose to display by their classes, so you can know the amount of students who are in a class and then all that. So now that we've set a foundation, and then you should be able to also build on this. Now in the subsequent video, I'll be showing you how to issue receipt after every payment. So you stay tuned and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.